What if the key to happiness in retirement isn't saving more, but spending differently? A new survey suggests just that. Hey, everyone. Welcome back. I'm Nick Davis, and you're listening to the Moneymaster Podcast, where we explore the financial and personal sides of retirement. I'm here with Tori and Connie, as usual. Connie is going to guide the conversation today. We're talking about something that really hits home for a lot of people. What does it mean to buy happiness? So we're going to get into that. This is the Moneymaster Podcast.
Thanks, Nick. I mean, this is such a great topic. This really opens up a lot of questions, right? And we're going to talk about what some of the research says, why spending in certain ways can bring more joy, and how to think differently about using your money and not just growing it, right? There's that accumulation stage and then the income stage, turning that on. So I'm excited to talk about this.
Yeah, we see that it's a problem for a lot of people. It's like, I'm really struggling to spend money. And you can see it on our YouTube videos. Any video that's about people struggling to spend money, there's a lot of comments. People are like, yeah, it really is hard to kind of switch gears because we've been saving for so long.
Yeah, we say that. It's a mindset shift as a whole, that like we're going to start using this money now.
And the other side of it is that some people don't retire because they feel like, I just need more. I
just need that one more year. I just need that
magic
little bit.
number, that little bit more. Yeah. And it's very, very hard for people.
So let's talk about that paradox of more and what exactly that means. You know, one thing the research shows is that people with more money often still want more, right? So there's no magic number where someone says, okay, I'm officially happy now because I have X amount of dollars. Yay. Yay for me. There's always a desire for more security, more options, more peace of mind. But that creates a bit of a paradox. If more money doesn't guarantee more happiness, then how do we get off that treadmill and start focusing on what really matters?
Yeah, I mean, this takes me back to conversations we had when we did the book club, the psychology of money, about moving the goalpost. Like you get to that post and you're like, no, one more, and you're going to move it. You're going to keep moving it. Like you can't ever you've got to decide what the actual thing is that you're chasing.
Line,
yeah.
It's so hard to find the finish line. Personally, it's like I personally move it a bit all the time. It's like and some people use the excuse, and it's a good reason. I need something to motivate me, right? But as somebody wise said to me one time, sometimes maybe you need to define success as something other than that number, right? Maybe success is more time with the kids, the grandchildren, something, right? But it takes work to find something else other than work, and helps you to kind of like say, where's that, where am I going to say, stop moving that goalpost? And is there really a line for happiness?
Right.
Right. Like
what's the actual
how
goal
you are now is probably
that?
how you're going to be then. Right. So it's more of an internal issue too.
And I think that I've heard you guys talk about when, like with clients, like maybe they want to consider retiring this year versus 2 years from now. And what does that dollar amount look like? And sometimes it's not as big of an adjustment as they would think it is.
Well, and then we compare it to, so, okay, you're getting this much extra if you work 2 more years, but then you're giving up 2 more summers with your grandkids. Like we're looking at that trade-off of, okay, fine, this is what this gets you, but what are you potentially not getting by doing that?
Or I see people diminishing their happiness by continually expanding their lives. And it's like, well, I might wake up in 5 years and want to retire. I don't know. But right now I want to go buy that extra, you name it. Right. And I just think, man, it'd be nice to like not wake up and realize, 5 years ago, you could have been doing something to make sure that you were able to retire. So it's really finding that balance.
Yeah. So let's take a look at what the $10,000 study revealed. This is actually really fascinating. There was an article that we'll probably post.
Yeah, we'll put it in the show notes.
Yes. A global study where researchers gave people $10,000 and asked them to spend it within 3 months. Then they measured how happy those people were after spending that money. The top 5 categories that led to the biggest happiness boost were luxury goods or investment strategies. They were giving to others. I'm sorry, they weren't. They were not
those two things.
They weren't luxury goods or investment strategies. It was giving to others, buying experiences, personal care, educations, or gifting to people that they cared about or loved, or a cause that they wanted to support. And that really says a lot. I've listened to some other podcasts that talk about happiness, and every single time it always comes down to the people that they're spending the time with and what they're doing with those people.
Yeah.
It's never, oh, I wish I would have worked more, or I wish I would have,
It rarely is the luxury gifts. Like sometimes it's like, okay, when I retire, I'm going to go buy that Corvette, right? Like there was somebody we had to tell, you want a red Porsche, you literally do nothing else with your money, go buy the red Porsche, But that's a minimal thing, because the same person actually does get more benefit from experiences. I was sitting on, so we have an Airbnb rental cabin. It's a luxury cabin in Oklahoma. It's really nice. We love it. We love being on the lake, but I was like, I'm going to stay there by myself. Like I want to get out there in the woods and be by myself. And I'm going to have the whole week to myself. And by day 2, I was like, I want to go home. Nobody's here with me. If nobody can be here with us, or Connie and I will be out on that lake on the boat watching a sunset, and we're like, man, it's too bad so-and-so couldn't be here with us, right? Like they don't get to experience it with us. So it really brings up that question of what's it for, right? Like it really does come down to these experiences and maybe giving those experiences to other people.
right.
Well,
Exactly.
a lot of those things that you read off that did lead to happiness were things that created either really long-term memories or like things beyond that moment, right? It's
Right.
not just the car. It's like
Exactly.
something way beyond the moment
Yeah.
in time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And like Nick was mentioning, so on his story, last summer we were out on the lake, and I was like, man, I really want more of our family to enjoy these experiences with us together. And so last week, my family traveled down from Illinois and Indiana and spent a week all together, including my grandparents, 85 years old and 87, probably their last, long travel
Yeah.
vacation. And it was such a beautiful experience. And that's something that you can't replace with
Just some extra money.
a purchased item.
More
sort of say.
toys doesn't make that happen, right? More toys. Now, having the ability to go to the lake, right?
Yeah.
Having the boat or
Yeah.
whatever, having the ability to bring your family in, all that stuff, that's what really matters. And you get so much mileage.
But we've
out of
also
that.
talked before about money buying flexibility. And that's what you guys had, the ability to take some time off, go to the lake. Like that's the other thing. If you'd been working a job where you couldn't take away, or you decided not to retire another year, whatever those people
Right.
are trying to decide, you might have given that up. You might
Yeah.
have missed that.
Yeah. I mean, we're pretty serious about it. You want to tell them a little bit about our culture challenge we had?
Yeah, we haven't taken a day off and really not working, which was hard
During
for all
the
of us.
week.
Yeah, not
Yes.
just a Saturday, like
Yeah.
But why do we do that?
so that we can practice what we tell our clients all the time. So we can step back and say what's important. My time with my kids, because they're still young and I'm taking a day off to spend with them, or whatever that is, focusing around what matters besides work to us.
Yeah. I mean, that's
And it's hard.
hard. It's
Also, I need to check my email. Nick's like, get off.
it'll be 7:00 at night, and I'll see Tori on Slack. I'm like, why are you doing working at 7:00 at night? Because if it's hard for you if you're getting ready to retire, and it's like, okay, we want you to do more things with your life and less things that's like distracting you from the things that really matter. If it's hard for them, I mean, I'm in my late 40s. I'm 47 right now. It's hard to do, but it's so intentional. It's so helpful. It's rewarding. You got to treat it like it's a goal, or you won't do it. I mean,
Yeah.
we've had people retire, and we'd say, it's time for you to practice retirement. Before you retire, you're going to retire in 2 years. Why don't you take 2 weeks off or 3 weeks and don't go on vacation and just pretend you're a retiree? And we've had people say, I've never taken that much time off in my working career ever, like in 40 years of working. So
Yeah.
huge thing.
Hey there, this is a quick break to talk about how you pay yourself in retirement. People often ask about how much they're going to be able to spend each month from their savings when they're no longer working. You may have heard of the 4% rule, the bucket strategy, or nameless others, but none of them do a good job measuring your true spending capacity. That is, how much can you afford to spend each month confidently? I wrote a white paper you might want to read. It's about a guardrail system for retirement that can help you do better in retirement. And I think it's probably the best withdrawal strategy available. There's no cost to download and read it. If you want a copy, all you have to do is text the word income to our business line at 214-988-9178. That's it, just the word income, and send it to 214-988-9178, and we'll send that paper about guardrails straight to you.
Well, let's talk about the next one, connecting it to real life and planning, especially for people approaching or in retirement. Many people have saved very well, but they're still hesitant when it comes to actual spending. And we touched on this briefly, as we were opening up. What would it look like if someone intentionally reorganized their spending to focus more on these happiness boosting categories?
Well, and I think that's why, we prioritize when we do planning that first kind of prioritization question we ask people about what's important about money, because we want to get beyond just getting stuck in the numbers of how much can you spend, how much, we can get really money minded, budget minded, spending minded. And so when they're talking about, well, my grandkids matter, I want to help my kid put this down payment on this house, those things, I was like, okay, those are your values. Those are what matter. And that's when you can start pulling from that to, okay, well, you have this in the guardrails. Do you want to go do that trip with your grandkids, or make those priorities?
And almost nobody actually shows up to a financial planner with those things in mind. Mm-hmm. They're thinking about survival. They're thinking about stopping work. They're thinking about numbers and math. We have to apologize in our first visit with people, and we have to say, listen, we love to learn about your goals and everything, because that's what we do. And that'll happen once we start financial planning, right? But this conversation, we do got to get into the math. But we want you to know we're going to get you away from the math so that you can really get towards the things that really matter. And you mentioned emotional spending. So taking a day off work to go do something, that's completely emotionally rewarding. That's what it's all about. It could be you just take time off and go take your grandchild somewhere, right? Or for me, somebody told me years ago, they're like, when you talk about doing a woodworking project, you really kind of light up. Have you considered taking off time purposely for woodworking? And I was like, wow, that might be a prescription. That might be a prescription for happiness, right? And so there's got to be things like that give you the emotional reward, like spending money on a personal trainer, or spending more money for that Lifetime Fitness, which costs way more money. But everybody that goes to Lifetime Fitness swears by it, right? And I've never been there, but my daughter worked there for about 6 months watching kids. So those things are definitely on the radar for people who want to have better emotional experience.
They create value.
Yeah.
So there are 4 simple questions we've used in conversations like this, and they're great for anyone thinking about how to spend more on purpose. So let's walk through them together. The first one, what causes or organizations are important to you that you could support more? Mm-hmm. And so we have a lot of families that they have certain charities that are really near to their heart. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, people already know, they tend to know what they want to do, what's near and dear to their heart. Other people are on the lookout. They're praying for somebody to come along their way that they'll find something that they really feel like they want to support,
Yeah. What experiences would you love to plan that create joy and lasting memories?
Yeah.
This is when people kind of tend to go towards grandkids or family and those types of things and talk about what they want their, that this one is typically one people can get excited about because they've thought about it. What does life look like with my family in the next few years?
Very specific. We've planned 2 big family vacations the first 2 years of retirement. Then we're paying for everybody to come in and do this thing, right? Or we've always wanted to go on a safari. Personally, I don't want to go on a safari ever, but they do. I've watched too many documentaries, people getting hurt. But, they want to go on a safari. It's really a big deal, So, it's that they're going to do that for the very first time. That brings a lot of excitement. I heard of a term this week, and we should probably start using it more. It's called refire instead of retire. And you're really refiring for the next chapter. So instead of retiring being such a dead word, right? Such a depressing.
Feels final.
You really can refire because, everybody says my body's old, but I'm still 20 on the inside. That's all of us, right? We're all still wanting to be excited about something. And so, what is that experience that will refire you?
I was just thinking there's a family right now that is at Disney with their family. And, they've been planning for a long time. They're so excited about it. We have another single woman who takes each of her grandchildren individually to Disney and does a whole experience with them. Like, that's something really special. And another one that comes to mind is another grandma who takes her grandson and goes wherever he wants to go. He gets to choose. And he's like 7 years old.
I think we're thinking of the same person,
Yes.
but one year they had to miss it because they got busy and he noticed. He was like,
Yeah.
I missed that. Like,
Yeah.
and I think I've mentioned that before. Like, those are lasting to the client and to their grandkid.
Absolutely. Yeah,
That's the stuff that really matters.
for sure. How could you invest in your own health, growth, or well-being?
Yeah.
I think this one feels challenging to people because if they've been busy and been working, sometimes they're like, oh, I don't know. I haven't had time for that. Or,
Yeah.
you know, like,
Yeah.
oh, now we've had people come into the office after retirement and we're like, you look great. And they're like, I have time to cook my own meals and like go on a walk. Like, I have more time for myself that I haven't had in the
Yes.
past.
Investing in your own health, the right answer might be not taking on the extra project at work and maybe de-stressing at work a bit because you can't because you're so stressed, or finding a way to do that.
We know a lot of families that will pick up yoga classes
Yeah.
or start riding their bikes more often.
Yeah.
There's lots of ways. You mentioned a personal trainer. That's something you can do.
Yeah.
Is there someone in your life you could give to that would feel meaningful to you and helpful to them?
Yeah. That's another big picture question of
That's-
who's in your life that
Yeah.
you feel like you could support now. And we talk about that when we're doing planning is like, legacy. We want to plan for legacy in the long term, but what about while you're alive to see that happen?
Right. In fact, the book that we always mention that comes back to mind is Bill Perkins' Die with Zero. We mentioned how this person gave an inheritance to their child when the child was 55, 60, but it was like, man, when they were 30, it would have really helped them with the kids in the stressful time when they were job transitioning. What I find is that most financial planning is about how much you're going to have left over and you leave after you're dead. But what really good financial planning can do is say, hey, it's okay. You can afford to do some of this stuff while you're still alive. The guardrail system that we use for income planning actually helps us to identify that early. And also it helps us to identify more of it as time goes on as well.
Yeah.
So that we don't end up with so much money at the end of life and we just didn't get to have those experiences. I mean, it'd be really great for more people to be able to give to their children and help their own family as they're kind of struggling through those difficult years when you've got those young kids. Like I'm past that phase now. It's still difficult because of college. Tori, your kids
You're
are
not past that.
young. Yeah, your kids are young. So you know what we're talking about.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, this is such a refreshing conversation, thinking about what is going to bring happiness in your retirement or your refirement, right? Those refire years. But we appreciate you guys joining us today. It truly means a lot when you listen to our podcast and you share it with someone who you think will find it meaningful as well. We'd love for you to leave us a comment on what you enjoyed, what maybe you're doing to bring some happiness into your retirement. And if you're ready to start your planning or you feel like you need to update your financial plan, you can find us at brindleandbay.com. Thanks so much. See you next time.
Nick Davis is an investment advisor representative of Brindle Bay Financial Advisors, a registered investment advisor. This show is for informational purposes only. Any references to client experiences made may be deemed to be indirect testimonials. Clients were not compensated for providing any testimonial statements. Any references to client experiences are for illustrative purposes only. Actual client experiences will vary. Any exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered financial advice or recommendation to buy or sell a financial vehicle. You should consult a qualified financial tax or legal professional before taking any action. This program is not endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency. Brindle Bay Wealth Management is affiliated with Brindle Bay Financial Advisors.